Okay, so picture this. You've got two people, let's call them person A and person B. Both of them earn exactly the same starting salary. They graduated from the exact same college, and they live in the exact same city. Now, fast forward 20 years, person A has built a net worth of over $1 million, but person B, they're still living paycheck to paycheck, totally stressed about bills, and constantly wondering where on earth all their money went. Let's dive right into this core mystery. What exactly happened here? I mean, it wasn't luck, it wasn't raw intelligence, and it definitely wasn't because one of them magically won the lottery. The staggering difference between these two identical starting points literally just comes down to a handful of financial decisions repeated over and over again. Welcome to today's Explainer. We are tackling a huge mystery today, one that affects almost everyone. We're talking about why most people stay broke forever, and much more importantly, how to actually escape the cycle. We're going to uncover the hidden habits that keep so many hardworking people trapped financially, and we'll show you exactly how to finally break free. We're going to break it all down clearly, simply, and based entirely on the data. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The biggest money myth. 2. The traps keeping you broke. 3. The cost of waiting. 4. Good debt versus bad debt. And 5. The simple wealth formula. All right, let's jump right into part 1. The biggest money myth. If I made more money, all my financial problems would disappear. Now, at first glance, that seems completely reasonable, right? I mean, who wouldn't want a raise? But reality tells a completely different story. Think about it for a second. Professional athletes, massive celebrities, lottery winners. These people have literally earned millions upon millions of dollars. Yet a shocking number of them have still gone completely bankrupt. No way, right? But on the flip side, there are countless everyday teachers, engineers, nurses, and office workers who quietly retire as multimillionaires. Income certainly helps, for sure, but wealth isn't magically generated just by getting a bigger paycheck. It is built entirely by what you keep and how you invest it. Moving on to part 2, the traps keeping you broke. Let's trace a cycle that is going to sound incredibly familiar. Step 1, you get paid. Step 2, you pay your rent and your fixed bills. Step 3, buy groceries. Step 4, order some takeout. And, maybe do some online shopping because, hey, there was a big sale. And step 5, 0 left. The account is totally empty. By the end of the month, payday arrives and the whole cycle violently repeats itself. It's a relentless hamster wheel. This is the classic paycheck to paycheck trap. And escaping it doesn't automatically mean you need a higher income. Actually, it usually just starts by creating a tiny bit of breathing room, a gap between step 1 and step 5.
Seriously, have you noticed this happening in your own life? Or maybe with your friends or family? It's so exhausting, isn't it? Take a breath, because just recognizing that feeling is the exact palate cleanser we need before we reveal the sneaky little mechanism that keeps that cycle spinning forever.
The real culprit here is something called lifestyle inflation. It's a super common phenomenon where your expenses rise just as fast as your income. Think about what happens when you get a raise. Instead of saving that extra cash, you go out and upgrade your car. You move into a slightly bigger, nicer apartment. You buy more expensive clothes. You start eating out a little more often. Before long, the more you earn, the more you spend. If every single raise just becomes an excuse to increase your spending, building real wealth becomes mathematically impossible.
And a massive driver of all this inflation is simply living to impress others. It's buying things you don't truly need just to impress people who, frankly, aren't paying your bills. A luxury car, designer clothes, upgrading to the absolute newest phone every single year. Look, I get it. These purchases provide short-term satisfaction. It feels really good in the moment. But the absolutely crucial point to remember is that they are actively destroying your long-term financial goals because they come at the direct expense of your saving and investing. Which brings us to part 3, the cost of waiting. Let's look at Alex and Jordan. Alex decides to start investing at age 25. Jordan, on the other hand, decides to hold off and wait until age 35. Now, even if Jordan realizes later on that they're behind and tries to aggressively invest way more money each month to catch up, Alex almost always comes out with a massive advantage. Why? Compound growth over those extra decades. It's like a snowball rolling down a really long hill. Time is literally the most valuable asset you have when it comes to investing. Waiting doesn't just delay your progress, it severely limits the opportunity for your money to multiply over the decades. You just can't buy back time. Part 4. Good debt versus bad debt. So there's a super vital contrast you need to understand here. Not all debt is created equal. Bad debt finances things that lose value quickly. Think high-interest credit card balances or unnecessary consumer purchases. It just drains your wealth. Good debt, on the other hand, can actually help you build wealth.
We're talking about a reasonably managed mortgage, or strategic investments in your education, or starting a business. Now, I have to be responsible and totally clear here. Even good debt involves risk, and it needs to be approached very carefully. The absolute key is understanding exactly what you are borrowing for and the long-term impact it's going to have on your big financial picture.
And finally, Part 5, the simple wealth formula.
Building wealth truly doesn't require you to be perfect. It just requires these specific, consistent steps. Ready? First, spend less than you earn to create that gap we talked about. Second, build an emergency fund so a simple flat tire doesn't throw you completely into credit card debt. Third, avoid unnecessary high-interest debt entirely. Fourth, invest consistently in diversified assets that align with your goals. Fifth, increase those investments as your income grows, meaning you actively fight off that lifestyle inflation. And finally, stay patient and let time work its magic in your favor. If you follow this clear blueprint, you are actively escaping the cycle.
Because the truth is simply this: small habits equal big results. Imagine saving or investing just a slightly larger amount each month. It might not feel like much today, and you know what? That is completely okay. Over years and decades, those tiny little actions add up in incredibly meaningful ways. True financial success isn't about some massive one-time breakthrough where everything suddenly clicks. No, it comes down to consistently repeating these small, smart actions over the long haul.
Habits can change, and every financial journey starts with one decision to do something differently. Most people do not stay broke because they are lazy or incapable. Not at all. They stay broke simply because they blindly repeat the exact same financial habits without realizing where those habits lead. But the incredibly empowering news here is that habits can be broken and rewritten right now. You have the power to make a completely different decision today.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one absolutely fascinating number: 72. In our next explainer, we are going to explore the rule of 72. It is a real game changer and one of the most powerful ways to estimate exactly how long it takes for your money to double. You will definitely want to understand how it works. Hey, if this explainer changed the way you think about money, please share it, and make sure you subscribe to Money Moves Mastery. Remember, your financial life is just a series of habits, so I'll leave you with this. What is the one financial habit you are going to rewrite today?